It took the left 100 years to gain control of our education system. With disruptive concepts like Prager University, we can take it back in a decade. But only people support us. Go to prageruniversity.com and donate today. During August, which is fundraising month for Prager U, almost every day I feature a member of Prager Force. The young people's organization is now 20,000 members around the world. And here is a member of Prager Force who is the child of a Japanese father and a Mexican mother, and who is married to a Japanese woman and is living in Japan. Seijin Shirotori. So, Seijin, are you right now in Japan? Am I talking to you in Japan?
That's correct, sir.
So why are you clearer than when I talk to people in Glendale, California, where my studio is situated? It's actually disturbing.
Oh, my God. I tried to prepare as much as I can.
Yeah.
I got pretty
so
good lighting.
what time is it in Japan?
Yes, it's 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, I'm grateful to you. What time do you normally go to sleep?
Maybe around 12 or so, I think. But this is definitely worth it.
Well, that is extremely kind. I knew it was not a good hour for you. So are your wife and child sleeping?
Yes, they are.
Very nice. So, Seijin, welcome. What prompted you? Again, I want to repeat to people, you were born in the U.S., but your parents were born outside of the U.S., correct? Your mother in Mexico and your father in Japan.
Well, my mother was born in the U.S. My great-grandparents came from Mexico.
I see.
So, yes.
So you speak obviously fluent English and fluent Japanese.
Yes, thank you. I guess so.
Do you speak Spanish as well?
I'm working on it. I do speak Korean, but
why do you speak Korean?
Well, so I am a unificationist. It's kind of a religious reasons. I'm also known as
yes, the Unification Church. I'm very familiar with it.
Yes, sir.
Reverend Moon.
Wow. That's correct.
Right.
So,
did you marry your wife in a Unification Church ceremony?
That's correct. I was matched by Reverend Moon, and yes, we've been together since 2009. We're very happily married.
How does he know whom to match you with?
That's a very good question. I think maybe kind of I guess spiritually attuned, but I mean, my parents were also matched by Reverend Moon, and many other people are so, but and of course there's some marriages that break, but I know a lot of marriages which have lasted, and I think really seeing my own parents, they love each other so much, and even though for certain circumstances my dad's in Japan, my mother is in the US, but they still have a very good relationship, and I can see that really, like an ocean, one ocean across does not change their love for each other, and just I've always felt the warmth of their love as I grew up. And also my dad gave me pretty clear guidelines. And I think really in my church we say that family is the school of love. And I think that my family was a living example of that. And that's why I'm connected to the church. That's why I'm connected to God. I love Jesus. I love Reverend Moon. I love Dr. Hakjahan Moon. We call them true parents. And my church also connected me to you and Prager U, I feel, because on my church's website there was an article, Judaism Sexual Revolution, Why Judaism Rejected Homosexuality, and I was blown away by it. So yeah, it's I love my movement so much, and I love being unificationist. I love everything that comes with it. I love that I could have this opportunity to talk with you today. You're like my hero, so thank you so much.
You're a fascinating person. I'm curious, then I'm going to get to you and Prager U. I'm curious, do Japanese accept you as completely Japanese? Because you don't look fully Japanese.
They, I guess they don't think I'm fully Japanese. I'm sure they feel like, oh, I guess he must be, he doesn't seem Japanese. So I think maybe some people would think of me as like half Japanese or maybe not. But I think since I can speak the language,
right. So
I can kind of,
in daily life, do you feel that you are treated differently?
not really.
Good. I was just curious.
Mhm.
All right, I'm going to come back to you in a moment, folks. This is fundraising month for Prager U. We have Prager Force people all over the world, as you see. ReliefFactor.com, 800-500-8384. I took my little packet today. My Sunday workout gave my muscles a little too much to deal with. The thing is miraculous. I don't know how they did it. Doctors developed this. If you have any muscle or joint pain, I beg you to try it. It's for 3 weeks. It's $19.95 for 3 weeks. Why 3 weeks? Because the manufacturer says you will know in 3 weeks if it works, and if it doesn't, they suggest you cancel your order. That's pretty honest and forthright. Give it a try, please. The 3-week quick start, ReliefFactor.com. Portions of the Dennis Prager Show are brought to you by Sierra Pacific Mortgage. Hi, everybody. Dennis Prager here. One of the highlights of fundraising month, if not the highlight for me, is speaking to Prager Force members around the world, 20,000 of them. And I have Seijin Shirotori. If you were asked, this is just a curiosity question, what are you in terms of nationality? What would you answer today? Japanese, American, American Japanese? What would you say?
I would say I'm American. When I married my wife, I did have to choose a nationality, and since I live in Japan, I did have dual citizenship, Japanese and American, but so right now I only have American citizenship, but at the same time, I do, like, inside I kind of feel Japanese. So it's like I'm American, but I also feel very Japanese.
Why are the Japanese having so few children?
I think just they don't value family as much as they did before, and I think just affluence, like people just take it for granted that everything is very good. I mean, we're protected by the U.S. military, and a lot of conservative forces are trying to change the Constitution so we don't have to rely so much on America. But just like the left in Japan, they say, "Oh, protect the Constitution. We need we must not go to war," but that means that there are no real, like, Japanese people defending our own land. We have to have American troops defend our land, and that's a disservice to America and also all the troops that are really sacrificing their time here in Japan. So I always hear you say how the left lives in kind of a dreamland, but I really feel that here in Japan too. But anyway, I think that's one thing, and also maybe just like sexual ethics. Just if you look at the culture right now, you see all these really super huge, the anime characters, super huge eyes, big breasts, and like people are so caught up with just satisfying their desires, but they don't realize that the sexual union is to create a family. They only see the act itself, but they need to go further than that, and that's what I really feel.
Right, but ironically, in Japan, there's and tell me if I'm wrong, truly tell me if I'm wrong, there is a real crisis of loneliness. So with all the sex, they're producing lonelier and lonelier people.
That's right. I think it's more just the you don't have to be with a person to experience the sexual pleasures. Just there's so much like anime and
Right,
things
so
like that.
there's nothing advocating bonding. Just
not really.
yes.
Just
Well, no. It's. I follow Japan a lot, and it's a real crisis because they don't want immigrants because they want to keep the Japanese, and yet
right.
they're not reproducing. So it's not an optimistic scenario for the Japanese future.
No, it sure isn't. So,
All right.
yeah.
Well,
I
so
think
tell me
really,
what attracts you to Prager U?
So I've been listening to your Fireside chats for a long time. Well, I haven't got through all of them, but I started from the latest one and I worked my way to about 100, episode 130.
Not bad.
And just
250 to 130. Okay.
Thank you. Yes. The more I listen, I feel I feel my faith gets stronger. I've restarted reading the Bible again, and but also you've taught me that I need to be more open-minded. I've been pretty reluctant to hear opposing viewpoints because I always felt I know how cunning the left is, and they're they can be very persuasive. So I felt my young mind, I couldn't really process it, and I might be taken over to the other side. So I've been kind of pretty close-minded, but the more I listen to you now, I feel I need to be open-minded, and then I also feel that I'm kind of ready to broaden my perspective. And also, I think when I joined, what really gave me the push to join Prager Force was Amala Ekunobi's Unapologetic. I was very impressed. On the show, she was getting some pretty difficult questions from her viewers, but she was able to really stand up for her values and express herself very eloquently. And I felt that I really need to and want to be able to do that.
That's beautiful. Listen, I really hope we meet one day at some Prager Force event. And
I would love that.
And if not, I hope I'll return to Japan and see you. So,
yes, please.
Thank you. And go to bed now. Go to bed.
Okay, I will. Thank you, sir.
All
it's
right.
a pleasure, and God bless you, and thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for giving us the courage to just be true to ourselves. I wanted to say that to you.
That's beautiful. Arigato.
どういたしまして。ありがとうございました。
Perfect. Well, I was just speaking to Seijin Shirotori, who is a member of Prager Force, and this is fundraising month. You know, it's not insignificant that he said that Prager U actually asked him to open his mind to other views. We're very keen on that. We want you to be prepared to know what those with whom we differ think. If you want to help this country, please help Prager U. Whatever you give, by the way, this week is doubled. You give $100, it's $200. You give 1,000, it's 2,000. You give 10, it's 20. There's no reason you can't give a small donation. In some cases, a big donation. PragerU.com, 833 PragerU. When I talk on my Fireside chat, I am aware that there are young people around the world listening, or viewing, I should say, and it moves me very deeply. From my home to only God knows how many other homes. We return.
The Dennis.
Well, there's not much time left, but I do want to discuss a call whose subject I see. Forgive me for not taking Joel in Boston, but there are only 2 minutes, and I need to address the point that at least the screener has summarized, and that is, what's wrong with you, Dennis? Talking to Japanese guy with today's events? It's a very important question, and I have a very important answer. I don't just talk about events. I'm doing something about them. In my writing, in my talk show, and in Prager U. Prager U is the largest video site on earth combating the woke evil that is taking place. I think that that's pretty significant. It's important to discuss the rot that our government has become through the left. But you know what? Discussing it without doing something about it is not very helpful. So the single best thing you, Joel, could do is support Prager U, so that we get rid of people who are ruining our society and that we change the minds of young people. I don't find talking about bad things to be anything but cathartic. It's a sort of, in many cases, onanism. Feels good, but doesn't produce much. So you want to do something? Help this kid in Japan make the case for Judeo-Christian and American values. That's what you can do. That's why I was very happy to talk to him on the day that the United States of America used the FBI as a police state would. The numbness of Americans to the police state that the left wishes to create and has created in California, a state that is dysfunctional in the extreme, as I read to you from the Daily Telegraph in England. There is a numbness on the part of half of this country to the rot that they are creating. And I'm trying to do something about it with the life that the Lord has given me. And I hope you'll join me, Joel, and everybody else, through my talk show, my writings, and Prager U. Whatever you give to Prager U this week will be doubled. Thank you.